Assalamu alaikum. Our today's topic is the muscles of the face. These are involved in the formation of facial expression. These are subcutaneous muscles embedded in the superficial fascia of the face. Anatomically or on the basis of location, they are divided into muscles of scalp, muscles of auricle, muscles of eyelid, muscles of the nose, muscles present around the mouth, and the muscle of the neck, platysma. Here you can see this is the frontal belly of the occipitofrontalis muscle of the scalp, the corrugator supercilii muscle, and the orbicularis oculi muscles. Both of these are the muscles of the eye. Procerus muscle and the nasalis muscle, both of these are the muscles of the nose. Then the muscles present around the mouth, levator labii superioris, zygomaticus minor, zygomaticus major, risorius, levator anguli oris, depressor anguli oris, depressor labii inferioris, mentalis muscle. Here you can see the buccinator muscle and the orbicularis oris muscle. This is the platysma muscle present at the neck. Now that was the classification on the basis of location. On the basis of function, you can see that these would act as sphincters and dilators of three types of openings are present in the face: the palpebral fissure, oral fissure, and the nostrils. The sphincters of palpebral fissure are orbicularis oculi. The dilator is frontalis part of the occipitofrontalis muscle, levator palpebri superioris muscle. The sphincter of oral fissure is orbicularis oris. The dilators are all muscles of the mouth except orbicularis oris, sphincter, and mentalis. The nostrils, for the nostril sphincter is compressor nares and dilator is dilator nares, depressor subti, medial slip of levator labii superioris, alethein. If we are going to discuss the muscles of some of the muscles in detail, like occipitofrontalis muscle, which is the muscle of the scalp, its frontal belly arises from the skin of the forehead and eyebrows and gets inserted on the aponeurosis epicranialis. Its function is to elevate the eyebrows and form the transverse crease of the forehead. The occipital belly arises from the lateral part of the superior knuckle line of the occipital bone and gets inserted on the aponeurosis epicranialis. Its nerve supply is temporal branch of the seventh cranial nerve. Corrugator supercilii, it arises from the medial end of the superciliary arch and gets inserted on the skin of the mid eyebrow. Its action is producing vertical lines in the forehead and is involved in the process of frowning. Orbicularis oculi muscle has orbital part, palpebral part, and a lacrimal part. The orbital part arises from the medial part of medial palpebral ligament and the adjoining bone, gets inserted as a concentric ring and returns to the point of origin. Its action is to close the eyelids tightly. The palpebral part arises from the lateral part of medial palpebral ligament and gets inserted at the lateral palpebral brachy. This palpebral part helps in the closure of eyelids gently. Now this is involved in blinking. The lacrimal part arises from lacrimal fascia and lacrimal bone. Gets inserted on the upper and lower eyelids. Its action is to dilate the lacrimal sac and support the lower eyelid. Now, orbital part is involved in the tight closure of the eyelids. That is, when we close the eyelids tightly, the creases will form. At that point, orbital part will be involved. And when we are simply the blinking, then the palpebral part is involved. Okay? Now, orbicularis oris. It has an intrinsic part and extrinsic part. It arises from the maxilla and mandible and gets inserted on the lips and angle of mouth. Its action is closure and pursing the mouth and formation of grimace. Buccinator muscle is the muscle of cheek. It arises from its upper fibers arise from the maxilla, lower from the mandible, middle from pterygomandibular raphe and gets inserted on upper part on upper lips, lower on lower lips, middle decussate before passing to the lips, This action is flattening of cheek against gum and teeth and preventing accumulation of food, and also involved in whistling. Now, platysma arises from the upper part of the pectoral and deltoid fascia and gets inserted as anterior fibers to base of mandible and posterior fibers to skin of lower face and lips. Its action is releasing the pressure of the skin on the brain, depressing the mandible, pull the angle of the mouth downwards as in horror and surprise.